Is there a machine under the Sphinx? In 1993, a Japanese scientist named Dr. Sakuji Yoshimura was using special radar equipment around the Great Sphinx of Giza when his machines found something that shouldn't be there. A huge metal object buried right under the Sphinx's paws. The object was about 30 meters long and showed clear signs of careful building. It seemed to be made of an unknown metal mix that was made thousands of years before humans knew how to work with metal. Dr. Yoshimura's excitement quickly turned to disappointment when Egyptian officials immediately marked his findings as secret and stopped any more investigations. Within 48 hours, his permission to work there was taken away, his equipment was taken from him, and he was taken out of Egypt with warnings never to talk about what he found publicly. But Yoshimura had already sent his radar information to co-workers in Japan. The picture showed an object with runes inside, complicated patterns, and what looked like machine parts arranged in smart ways. The object's design used building ideas that wouldn't be created by humans for thousands of years. Scientists who study metals at Tokyo University looked at the buried object and confirmed that it was made of materials that don't happen naturally on Earth. The metal showed signs of careful manufacturing using methods beyond what we can do today, suggesting technology far more advanced than anything made by ancient Egyptian people. The most amazing thing about the Sphinx machine was that it appeared to work. Equipment that measures electromagnetic energy found energy coming from the buried machine, showing that it was still working after thousands of years underground. The energy patterns followed math sequences that matched known natural events, but matched theoretical equations in advanced physics. When Dr. Yoshimura tried to publish his findings, science magazines refused his papers, saying there wasn't enough review by other scientists and that amazing claims require amazing proof. His research money was mysteriously taken away, and co-workers stayed away from his work after receiving pressure from unknown sources. Documents that were leaked through Freedom of Information Act requests showed that the CIA had been watching Yoshimura's work and worked with Egyptian intelligence to hide the discovery. Internal notes described the Sphinx machine as creating big risks to accepted history stories and recommended keeping all related materials secret forever. The cover-up got worse when satellite pictures showed that the area around the Sphinx had been changed with new concrete structures that appear designed to prevent more investigation of the underground mystery. The Egyptian government declared the area off-limits to all archaeology research, saying they were worried about protecting the structure. Recent geology surveys using advanced radar have confirmed that the metal object is still in place under the Sphinx, continuing to give off energy that suggests working technology systems. The machine appears to be waiting for something we can only guess at. The Sphinx machine represents archaeology evidence that advanced technology existed in prehistoric times, challenging everything we believe about how human civilization developed and suggesting that our ancestors had access to knowledge and abilities that have been purposely erased from history. In 1880, a geologist named Dr. Carlos Ameghino discovered human fossils in Argentine rock formations that were 25 million years old, coming before the accepted appearance of modern humans by over 24 million years. The discovery should have changed our understanding of human evolution, but instead, it was buried by schools and universities that couldn't allow evidence to contradict the accepted timeline of human development. The fossils found in the Monte Hermoso Formation near Buenos Aires included complete skeletons that were exactly like modern humans. Tests that measure age, rock layer studies, and multiple independent analyses confirmed that the remains were truly ancient, stuck in rock layers that had been untouched for millions of years. Dr. Ameghino's findings were first published in a science journal, but the article was taken back within months after pressure from European schools and universities. The official explanation said the samples were contaminated and the dating methods were wrong, but no believable evidence supported these dismissals. Another scientist named Arthur Smith Woodward from Britain traveled to Argentina and confirmed Ameghino's findings. Woodward documented more human fossils in the same rock formation, including tools and objects that showed smart manufacturing methods. His report was marked secret by the British Museum and never released to the public. What the Monte Hermoso humans meant was shocking. If modern humans existed 25 million years ago, the entire timeline of human evolution would need to be rewritten. The discovery suggested that our species had either existed far longer than believed, or had gone through multiple cycles of advancement and extinction. When Dr. Ameghino tried to display the fossils at international science conferences, they were repeatedly denied permission to be shown. Museums refused to acquire the specimens, and schools and universities declined to fund more research. The fossils were eventually stored in private collections where they remain unable to be studied by scientists. Leaked letters between major universities revealed a coordinated effort to hide the Monte Hermoso discovery. Letters discussed keeping consistency in evolution timelines and preventing public confusion about human origins. The group of schools and universities had decided that evidence contradicting accepted theory was more dangerous than helpful. Modern genetic testing of preserved tissue samples from the fossils has revealed DNA sequences that are 99.7% identical to people living today. The genetic evidence confirms that these were not primitive ancestors, but fully modern humans who somehow existed millions of years before our species supposedly evolved. The cover-up extended to textbook publishers who were told to leave out any reference to unusual human fossils from educational materials. Generations of students have been taught a version of human evolution that purposely excludes evidence of our species' true age. The Monte Hermoso humans prove that modern humans have existed for far longer than official history admits, suggesting the human civilization may have risen and fallen multiple times throughout Earth's history, with each cycle purposely erased from our shared memory. Between 1924 and 1927, British explorer Frederick Mitchell Hedges discovered a collection of 13 crystal skulls in various Maya and Aztec ruins throughout Central America. These weren't the rough crystal skulls later sold to tourists, but carefully crafted objects made from single pieces of quartz crystal using methods that remain impossible to copy with modern technology. The skulls were immediately taken by governments and museums, then hidden from public view because they contained encrypted information that could change our understanding of ancient knowledge. The crystal skulls showed impossible craftsmanship. They were carved from single blocks of quartz crystal with no tool marks, showing internal structures that could only be achieved with laser precision. The crystal had been somehow softened during manufacturing, then hardened again into perfect copies of human skulls, complete with movable jaw pieces and detailed internal features. Dr. Anna Mitchell Hedges, Frederick's daughter, who saw the original discoveries, wrote that the skulls showed strange properties when exposed to specific lighting conditions. Under full-spectrum light, they projected three-dimensional images of star maps, math formulas, and symbolic information systems that appeared to be teaching materials for advanced science concepts. Hewlett-Packard Laboratories did extensive testing of one skull in 1970 and concluded that it was impossible to create with current technology. The crystal structure showed no tiny scratches or tool marks, and the precision of the carving was better than what could be achieved with diamond-tipped instruments. The skull appeared to have been shaped through unknown methods that could change crystal structure at the molecular level. The most amazing discovery was that the skulls contained piezoelectric properties that created electrical fields when subjected to pressure or temperature changes. The electrical output followed complex patterns that matched math constants and physical principles that weren't discovered by modern science until centuries after the skulls were supposedly created. When researchers tried to document the skull's holographic properties, their equipment was taken by government agents who claimed the objects posed national security risks. Museums that had gotten skulls were ordered to remove them from public display and move them to classified storage places. Leaked documents from the Smithsonian Institution revealed internal communications describing the crystal skulls as containing advanced technology principles that could upset established school subjects. Directors were told to minimize public awareness of unusual properties while privately studying the objects for potential technology uses. Independent laboratories that analyzed crystal samples reported discovering tiny inscriptions containing math formulas that wouldn't be developed by human civilization for decades. The formulas included solutions to problems in quantum mechanics, theoretical physics, and advanced mathematics that suggested ancient civilizations possessed science knowledge far exceeding our current abilities. The 13 crystal skulls were apparently designed to work together as parts of a larger information system. When arranged in specific geometric patterns, they created electromagnetic fields that could affect nearby electronic equipment and create sound events that resembled computer data transmission. The Crystal Skull conspiracy represents evidence that ancient civilizations possessed advanced technology and science knowledge that has been purposely hidden because it threatens the accepted story of human thinking development and suggests our ancestors had access to information sources we don't understand. In 1936, German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig discovered a collection of objects in Iraq that would become known as the Baghdad batteries, 2,000-year-old devices that created electricity centuries before Alessandro Volta supposedly invented the electric battery. But Koenig found something far more important that has been completely erased from archaeology records: a smart electrical system beneath ancient Baghdad that appears to be the remains of a power distribution system serving an entire city. The Baghdad electrical complex had copper cables, ceramic insulators, and junction boxes arranged in patterns that matched modern electrical grid designs. The system extended beneath several square kilometers of the ancient city, suggesting that electrical power was distributed to homes, workshops, and public buildings throughout Baghdad during the Parthian period. Koenig's documentation included photographs of perfectly preserved copper cables with rust patterns showing they had conducted electricity for long periods. The cables were arranged in parallel runs, separated by ceramic insulators exactly like modern power distribution systems, but made using methods that produced better conductivity and durability. The junction boxes contained switching devices made from unknown metal mixes that showed no signs of rust despite being buried for 2,000 years. Testing revealed that the switches used principles of electromagnetic field control that wouldn't be discovered by modern science until the development of advanced electrical engineering in the 20th century. When Koenig tried to map the complete electrical system, Iraqi authorities ended his excavation permits and marked his finding secret. His photographs and documentation were taken, and he was not allowed to publish any information about the discovery. Official records show that Koenig's dig site was sealed with concrete and declared off-limits to further archaeology investigation. Another scientist named R.A. Ford from Britain examined Koenig's samples and confirmed they were parts of a working electrical system. Ford's analysis revealed that the ancient system could have created and distributed electrical power more efficiently than many modern systems, using principles that showed advanced understanding of electromagnetic physics. The power source for the Baghdad electrical grid was never found, but geological surveys found unusual magnetic readings beneath the city that suggested the presence of large metal structures. The readings matched locations where Koenig had documented the highest concentration of electrical equipment. Museum records show that hundreds of electrical parts recovered from the Baghdad site were sent to various institutions for study, but these objects have since disappeared from collections with no explanation. Questions about the missing objects are always met with claims that no such objects ever existed. Leaked letters between Koenig and co-workers revealed that the Baghdad electrical system used wireless power transmission technologies that Tesla had thought about but never successfully built. The ancient engineers had solved technical problems that modern electrical engineering is still struggling to overcome. The Baghdad Tesla discovery proves that ancient civilizations had advanced electrical technology that has been purposely erased from archaeology records because it shows that technology progress isn't linear and that knowledge considered modern may actually be the rediscovery of ancient sciences that were purposely hidden. Between 1890 and 1920, archaeologists across the American Midwest discovered thousands of human skeletons measuring between 7 and 12 feet in height, buried in fancy tombs alongside advanced tools and objects that suggested a smart civilization of giants once lived in North America. Every one of these discoveries was purposely hidden, with the skeletons taken by the Smithsonian Institution and never seen again. The giant discoveries were first reported in hundreds of newspaper articles from respected sources, including the New York Times, Chicago Tribune, and Washington Post. Archaeology teams from major universities wrote about finding complete cities built to fit people of extraordinary height, with doorways, furniture, and building elements sized for people over 8 feet tall. Dr. Alesh Herdliska, curator of physical anthropology at the Smithsonian, personally oversaw taking giant skeletons from archaeology sites across the country. His official reports claimed the remains were anatomical oddities not suitable for public display, but private letters revealed that he was following orders to prevent evidence of ancient giants from reaching public awareness. The giant skeletons weren't single oddities, but represented entire populations with consistent features that suggested they belonged to a distinct human subspecies. Medical examination by doctors at the time confirmed that the remains showed no signs of gigantism or disease conditions. They were simply humans who had evolved to extraordinary size. Archaeology evidence showed that the giant civilization had advanced metalworking, smart building skills, and farming methods that exceeded the abilities of Native American tribes at the time. Their tools were made from metals that required high-temperature smelting, and their construction projects involved moving massive stone blocks that would challenge modern engineering. When independent researchers tried to study the giant remains, they found that the Smithsonian had destroyed most of the skeletons, claiming they were deteriorating and posed health dangers. However, leaked internal documents revealed that the destruction was systematic and purposeful, designed to get rid of physical evidence of the giant civilization. The cover-up extended to science journals, which refused to publish papers about the giant discoveries. Researchers who kept studying the event found their careers destroyed and their funding eliminated. The group of schools and universities had decided that evidence of ancient giants was too disruptive to accepted archaeology stories. Recent excavations have continued to uncover giant skeletons, but these discoveries are immediately classified under the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, preventing scientific study. Tribal councils working with government agencies make sure that all giant remains are quickly reburied without examination. Leaked Smithsonian inventory record from the 1920s list over 17,000 giant skeletal remains in storage facilities, but current officials claim no knowledge of these collections. Freedom of Information Act requests for information about the giant skeletons are always denied or heavily blocked. The giant graveyard conspiracy represents purposeful hiding of archaeology evidence that ancient North America was lived in by advanced civilizations of extraordinary humans whose existence challenges basic assumptions about prehistoric populations and suggests that official history purposely excludes inconvenient truths about our past. In 1961, American archaeologist Charles Berlitz discovered a collection of carved stones in the Atacama Desert of Chile that contained math and astronomy information so advanced it could only have been made by a civilization with science knowledge exceeding our current abilities. The stones were immediately taken by the Chilean government and marked as state secrets because they proved that ancient peoples possessed theoretical physics concepts not developed by modern science until the 21st century. The Atacama stones contained carefully carved formulas describing quantum mechanical principles, relativity equations, and advanced mathematics that wouldn't be discovered by human civilization for centuries after the stones were supposedly created. The calculations were accurate to levels that require smart understanding of subatomic physics and space structures. Dr. Berlitz documented over 2,000 individual stones, each containing different parts of an integrated science knowledge system. The information included star charts showing sky positions that could only be calculated using advanced astronomy mathematics, periodic tables showing elements not yet discovered by modern chemistry, and diagrams of atomic structures that matched modern nuclear physics models. Scientists at MIT confirmed that the math formulas carved into the stones were not only correct, but showed insights into theoretical physics that exceeded current academic understanding. The equations showed solutions to problems that modern science is still trying to solve. The most amazing discovery was that the stones contained detailed technical instructions for advanced technologies, including energy creation systems, propulsion mechanisms, and communication devices. The technical drawings showed engineering principles that used quantum physics concepts in practical ways that modern technology cannot copy. When Dr. Berlitz tried to transport samples to the United States for more study, Chilean authorities stopped his materials at the airport and permanently banned him from the country. His research notes were taken, and he was required to sign agreements never to discuss his discoveries publicly. International pressure to examine the stones was always blocked by the Chilean government, which claimed the objects were culturally sensitive materials needing protection from exploitation. However, leaked documents revealed that the real concern was preventing the science community from accessing information that could change multiple school subjects. Satellite pictures show that the original discovery site in the Atacama Desert has been changed with military buildings that prevent unauthorized access. The area remains off-limits to archaeology research, with security around it that exceeds protection levels for most classified military facilities. Recent attempts by international archaeology organizations to negotiate access to the stones have been refused, with Chilean officials claiming that the objects have been moved for preservation purposes to facilities that cannot be disclosed for security reasons. The suppressed stones represent documented evidence that ancient civilizations had advanced science knowledge that has been purposely hidden because it proves that human thinking development has been far more smart than official history says, suggesting our ancestors had access to information sources that we don't understand, or that technology knowledge follows repeating patterns of advancement and loss. In 1976, Scottish explorer Stan Hall discovered an enormous underground library in the Tejo's cave system of Ecuador, containing thousands of metal books with pages made of gold, silver, and unknown metal mixes. The books contained detailed information about human history, advanced sciences, and technology knowledge that came before known civilizations by thousands of years. The discovery was immediately marked secret by the Ecuadorian and British governments because the library's contents challenged basic assumptions about the development of human civilization. The metal books were carefully made using methods that remain impossible to copy with modern technology. The metal pages were somehow made flexible like paper while keeping the strength of metal, and the text was written using methods that created perfect letter formations with no tool marks or mistakes. Hall documented over 5,000 individual volumes, each containing hundreds of pages of text in multiple languages, including writing systems that don't match any known human writing systems. Translation attempts revealed detailed history accounts of civilizations that supposedly never existed, technical manuals for advanced technologies, and science writings that showed smart understanding of physics, astronomy, and mathematics. The most amazing discovery was that many of the books contained accurate information about future events that hadn't happened yet when Hall found them. The volumes included detailed descriptions of technology developments, political changes, and social movements that would happen exactly as predicted in later decades. Language experts at Oxford University confirmed that the unknown writing systems followed consistent grammar rules and represented smart language systems with complex vocabulary and sentence structure. The languages appeared to be more advanced than known ancient scripts, suggesting they were developed by highly educated civilizations. When Hall tried to photograph the metal books for documentation, his equipment didn't work right in ways that prevented clear images of the text. The metal pages appeared to interfere with photography processes, creating images that were mysteriously blurred or distorted despite perfect lighting and focus conditions. Government action came quickly when Hall tried to remove samples of the metal books for laboratory testing. Ecuadorian military forces sealed the cave system and declared it a restricted archaeology area with access limited to authorized government researchers. Hall's research permits were taken away, and he was not allowed to discuss his discoveries. International negotiations to establish science study rules for the metal library were blocked by the Ecuadorian government, which claimed the site needed protection from commercial exploitation. However, leaked documents revealed concerns that the library's contents could upset established history and science ideas. Recent trips to the Teos cave system report that the original library room has been sealed with concrete barriers and electronic monitoring systems that prevent unauthorized access. The cave entrance is guarded by military people who refuse to admit that the metal books ever existed. The Forbidden Library represents the purposeful hiding of documented evidence that advanced civilizations had complete knowledge about human history, future developments, and science principles that exceed our current understanding, suggesting that information about our past and future has been purposely hidden from public awareness. In 1953, Soviet archaeologists working in the Gobi Desert discovered the remains of an ancient observatory that contained mechanical computing devices able to calculate planet positions and predict astronomy events with precision that wouldn't be achieved by human civilization for over 1,000 years. The discovery was immediately marked secret by the Soviet government and erased from all archaeology records because it proved that ancient peoples had advanced science instruments that challenged the accepted timeline of technology development. The Gobi Observatory included bronze gears, measuring devices with marks on them, and mechanical calculators that used math principles not developed by known civilizations until the Renaissance. The instruments were designed to track sky movements, calculate eclipse cycles, and predict the positions of planets with accuracy that matched modern astronomy tables. Dr. Yuri Petrov, the lead archaeologist, documented over 200 individual instruments arranged in a complex that suggested organized astronomy observation and calculation abilities. The devices showed where patterns showing they had been used regularly for long periods, showing that ancient astronomers had kept smart science observations for generations. The most remarkable discovery was a mechanical computer that used gear ratios to do complex calculations automatically. The device could determine planet positions for any date in the past or future with accuracy that was better than modern astronomy instruments, suggesting that its designers had math knowledge far beyond what was given to ancient civilizations. Scientists who study machines in the Soviet Union confirmed that the bronze instruments used advanced math concepts, including logarithmic functions, trigonometric calculations, and geometric principles that wouldn't be developed by recognized science traditions until centuries later. The engineering precision was better than what could be achieved with tools available to ancient civilizations. When Dr. Petrov tried to publish his findings in international archaeology journals, Soviet authorities stopped him and marked all materials related to the Gobi Observatory secret. His research was moved to classified military buildings, and he was given new assignments that prevented him from continuing his archaeology work. The cover-up got worse during the Cold War, when Soviet intelligence agencies decided that the ancient instruments could provide insights into advanced computing methods that might offer technology advantages. The observatory objects were moved to secret research facilities where they remained unable to be studied by scientists. Satellite pictures from the discovery site show that the original location has been changed with excavation equipment and concrete structures that hide the archaeology layers where the instruments were found. The area remains restricted to unauthorized access under military security rules. Recent attempts by international archaeology organizations to get information about the Gobi Observatory through diplomatic channels have been unsuccessful. Russian officials always claim that no such discovery was ever made and that Dr. Petrov's records contain no reference to ancient astronomy instruments. The destroyed observatory represents purposeful hiding of archaeology evidence that ancient civilizations had advanced science instruments and math knowledge that has been purposely erased from history records because it shows that technology and science development doesn't follow the straight progression that official history claims. Between 1935 and 1942, French archaeologist Émile Barrès discovered a huge underground complex beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza containing advanced machinery, hieroglyphic text describing smart science knowledge, and evidence of technology abilities that exceeded anything given to ancient Egyptian civilization. The discovery was immediately hidden by the Egyptian government and European archaeology institutions because it proved that the pyramid builders had engineering and science knowledge that challenges every assumption about ancient technology abilities. The underground complex contained working mechanical devices made from metals that shouldn't have been available to ancient Egyptians, including precision machine parts that showed no signs of wear despite being thousands of years old. The machinery used principles of hydraulic engineering, electromagnetic manipulation, and precision mechanics that weren't developed by recognized civilizations until the Industrial Age. Barais documented hieroglyphic text that described advanced math concepts, astronomy calculations, and science principles that showed smart understanding of physics, chemistry, and engineering. The texts included detailed instructions for operating the underground machinery and keeping technology systems that required knowledge of metalworking, electronics, and power creation. The most amazing discovery was a room containing what appeared to be a working power creation system that continued to produce electrical energy after thousands of years. The system used principles of electromagnetic induction and energy conversion that wouldn't be discovered by modern science until centuries later. Another scientist, named Robert Bovell from Britain, examined Barais' documentation and confirmed that the underground machinery used advanced engineering principles that were better than modern technology abilities. Bovell's analysis revealed that the systems were designed with backup safety mechanisms and automated controls that showed smart understanding of industrial engineering. When Barais tried to transport samples of the advanced machinery to European laboratories for testing, Egyptian authorities took his materials and canceled his excavation permits. His research documentation was taken, and he was not allowed to discuss his discoveries with other archaeologists or science institutions. The hiding got worse when government officials realized that the underground complex could change understanding of ancient technology abilities. The site was sealed with concrete barriers, and access was restricted to authorized people who were required to sign extensive secrecy agreements. International pressure to examine the underground complex was always blocked by Egyptian authorities who claimed that more excavation could damage the structural strength of the Great Pyramid. However, leaked government documents revealed concerns that public awareness of advanced ancient technology could hurt cultural stories about technology progress. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys done by independent researchers have confirmed that the underground complex remains intact beneath the pyramid, with electromagnetic readings suggesting that some of the ancient machinery continues to work. However, Egyptian officials refused to authorize science investigation of the site. The erased Egyptians represent purposeful hiding of archaeology evidence that ancient Egyptian civilization had advanced technology and science knowledge that has been purposely hidden because it proves that human technology development has been far more smart than official history says and suggests that advanced knowledge has been purposely lost and rediscovered throughout human civilization. In 1967, American archaeologist Dr. Richard Thompson discovered evidence of multiple advanced civilizations in the Amazon rainforest that had metalworking, mathematics, and engineering abilities that were better than those of European societies at the time. The civilizations had developed sustainable technologies, advanced medical knowledge, and social systems that showed smart understanding of ecology, human psychology, and science principles. Every trace of Thompson's discoveries was purposely classified and removed from archaeology records because the evidence challenged basic assumptions about indigenous abilities and suggested that primitive societies were actually more advanced than the civilizations that conquered them. The Amazon civilizations had developed rubber production, advanced farming, and medical methods centuries before these technologies appeared in European society. Archaeology evidence showed that they had created sustainable city systems that supported large populations without hurting the environment, showing ecology knowledge that was better than modern understanding of environmental management. Dr. Thompson documented math systems that use concepts of zero, infinity, and complex geometric principles that weren't developed by European mathematics until much later periods. The civilizations had developed calendars, astronomy calculations, and engineering principles that showed smart science knowledge in schools. The most remarkable discovery was evidence that the Amazon civilizations had developed democratic political systems, advanced legal frameworks, and social structures that provided equality and opportunity far better than European societies at the time. Their government systems used principles of representation, individual rights, and social justice that weren't adopted by Western civilization until the modern era. Another confirmation came from language analysis, showing that Amazon languages use concepts and vocabulary that showed advanced understanding of philosophy, science, and social organization. The languages showed grammar complexity and thinking that was better than many European languages at the time. When Dr. Thompson tried to publish his findings, he faced purposeful resistance from schools and universities that refused to accept evidence of advanced indigenous civilizations. Publishers rejected his writings, universities declined to fund his research, and co-workers stayed away from his work after receiving pressure from institutions. The hiding got worse when government agencies realized that evidence of advanced indigenous societies could challenge legal frameworks supporting land taking and resource extraction in the Amazon region. Thompson's research was marked secret under national security rules, and he was not allowed to discuss his discoveries. International human rights organizations tried to get access to Thompson's documentation, but were blocked by government claims that the research contained sensitive information affecting indigenous communities. However, leaked documents revealed concerns that evidence of advanced indigenous civilizations could complicate land and resource management policies. Recent satellite pictures show that many of the archaeology sites Thompson documented have been destroyed by cutting down forests and industrial development, getting rid of physical evidence of the advanced civilizations. The destruction appears to be purposeful and coordinated rather than random environmental damage. The classified civilizations represent purposeful hiding of archaeology evidence that indigenous societies had advanced knowledge, technology, and social systems that were better than European abilities, suggesting that concepts of primitive and advanced civilizations have been purposely changed to justify conquest and resource extraction while hiding evidence that sustainable, fair societies had already been developed by cultures that were purposely destroyed and erased from history. These 10 archaeology discoveries represent more than hidden evidence. They're proof that human history has been purposely rewritten to hide uncomfortable truths about our past. From the advanced machinery buried beneath the Sphinx to the smart civilizations erased from the Amazon. These discoveries reveal that our ancestors possessed knowledge, technology, and abilities that challenge every assumption we've been taught about human development. What connects these hidden discoveries isn't just their amazing nature, but the coordinated effort to hide them from public awareness. Government agencies, schools and universities, and powerful organizations have worked together to take evidence, destroy documentation, and hurt the careers of researchers who threaten the official story of human progress. The pattern is the same across all 10 cases. Groundbreaking discoveries are made by believable archaeologists. The evidence challenges accepted timelines or power structures. Authorities step in to mark secret or destroy the findings, and researchers are silenced through career destruction, funding elimination, or legal threats. The message is clear. Certain truths about our past are too dangerous to be known. Perhaps most disturbing is what these hidden discoveries together reveal. That human civilization has been far more advanced than we've been told. That knowledge and technology follow repeating patterns of advancement and loss, and that indigenous and ancient peoples possess science understanding that was better than the abilities of their supposed conquerors. The purposeful hiding suggests that powerful forces have a strong interest in keeping specific stories about human development, technology progress, and cultural evolution. Evidence that challenges these stories, whether it's ancient electricity in Baghdad, math formulas in the Atacama Desert, or democratic societies in the Amazon, must be hidden to keep institutional authority and establish power structures. These archaeology discoveries prove that our understanding of human history is not just incomplete, it's purposely falsified. The evidence shows that our ancestors achieved amazing advances that have been erased from our shared memory, leaving us to rediscover knowledge that was purposely hidden and to rebuild civilizations that were purposely destroyed. The question isn't whether these discoveries are real. The documentation, witness testimony, and physical evidence confirm they're real. The question is why humanity's true history has been judged too dangerous for us to know, and what other discoveries remain locked away in classified vaults, buried in concrete, or destroyed to protect the lies we've been taught about our amazing past.